Hey guys, welcome back to the season finale of Girls Season 5. I'm Miriam Gonzalez. Stay tuned as we get into all the details of what happened in the season finale. See you in just a moment.
You're tuning into the destination for TV super fan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Can't take my eyes
I'm so excited.
You know? You guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to a Girls After Show Season 5 for the season finale, and we love you, baby! And if it's quite all right, we need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. What a perfect season finale. So super excited. Love Frankie Valli. I'm Miriam Gonzalez. Joining me on the panel tonight, to my left,
Kelly, hi.
Hi guys, Spicy Mari.
and we are going to break down tonight Sunday's episode. Thank you also for patiently waiting till this evening to join us, because we did not want to skip a beat and we didn't want to leave anyone out. That's including you guys. Go to iTunes, download us, rate us, tell us what you think. Go onto the YouTube, also comment there. We love hearing what you guys have to say. In tonight's episode, I mean, ladies, these ladies have grown in such a way that, I mean, of course, because now we're a couple days after the episode, seeing all the commentary from Lena Dunham and just here and there, whatever, like in the news and stuff, the characters have grown. I mean, not as much as we would like to see them, but they have since the beginning. And let's just get into it. I mean, first of all, I love someone who loves love and wants to be in love. And Elijah, first of all, he goes out shopping for the I am the one for you outfit.
I
Yes,
loved that.
I
That
loved
was
it.
And
so
I
pretty
love,
woman.
you know, he's like, I want to close the deal. And he's like, what does he say? He says to the sales girl, he's like, let's pretty woman this shit.
Yes, he did. And it was, I loved his enthusiasm, and I loved the fact that he was brave enough to do that, because doing what he did and really pouring your heart out and being honest, that open and honest with someone, is a very, very scary thing.
Yeah.
And not very many people have the guts to do that. So, I mean, bravo to him to be able to do that.
No guts,
No.
no glory.
Right.
I agree with you 100%, Kelly.
But
Only time that will
But-
happen tonight.
No, I really do. I thought that I commend him for taking that leap of faith, because there was a lot of odds against Elijah. Just when you're dealing with the player from the Himalaya and somebody who's used to being in the limelight, you're likely to get stomped and your heart broken. And he did take that risk. You know, he went out on a limb. He went to his place of work, which I don't necessarily recommend that. I think it should have been, you know, while he wasn't in work focus mode.
yeah.
But also, I feel like that was a very, very big
Gesture.
clue as to how Elijah's not ready for that.
Yeah. Well,
Because that goes to show maturity level wise, you know, as you get older and you kind of experience more things, like you'll know better than that.
Right. If somebody walked in on set with us while we're doing our girls recap, I'd be like, get
hell
out of here.
no. But you know what? For the sake of the show, without any risk, there is no reward. And he had to find out right then and there where his relationship stood, because he said to me, he goes, I don't like how we left things. And, you know, what did he say to him? He's like, you know, I see you for you. And I'm not going to be one of those guys, like the guys you keep around who just tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you that your hair doesn't look good shaved and you don't look
Yeah.
good bald. You know,
Well,
I don't
and
want
yeah.
you for your stuff.
And I like that he said, don't you want someone that wants you for you? Don't you want, you know, a boyfriend? Don't you want to be in love, basically?
Yeah.
And the answer that he gave was so heartbreaking to hear, but so true.
Yeah, well, he said to him, he goes, you know, if you keep up this way with all these guys surrounding you, you're going to end up with nothing. And you're a guy who deserves everything. And you see, like, the light bulb click in his head, in Dill's head. Like, you know what? You're right. I want somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with. And of course, Elijah starts getting this little glimmer of hope in his eyes. And for what? Like,
He even got a little teary-eyed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course,
I mean,
he
that
did.
was-
Well, and they both did, really. I
Well,
mean,
I think
got
they
a-
both
yeah.
came. I think he thought, it was hitting home with him that he's going to be chosen. In that moment, he realizes, gosh, I do have a lot to offer, but just not to you.
Yeah, Dill had that come to Jesus moment where he's like, exactly that.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that he says to me, he goes, I do want someone special for me. But it's not Elijah. And Elijah's like, why? Who is he? What does he look like? Well, he's tall. He's close to my age. How much taller can you be? And he says to him, he's like, I want someone that's a little less aimless. And that stings like a bee.
Yes. But how
I felt
real
for him.
is that?
It's true.
I feel like there was so much truth on both sides of that conversation. And for him to, he was trying to beat around the bush a little bit. Oh, I don't know what he looks like. Oh, and give these kind of
Vanilla, yucky
generic
answer.
answers, right? But then when he tells the truth, that was like a gut punch, because that is what Elijah is. He
You ain't
doesn't
got
have
no
any
job.
direction. He doesn't have, and also just kind of where he is mentally, just like every one of the girls, he thinks he's on this level that he's not on.
Yeah, I think that to me is a little surprising too. Like, can't you just tell you're one of the toys? Because what would that say about, his name is Dill, right?
Yes.
What would that say about Dill to choose you? And I tell people all the time, you're dating at the level of your self-esteem. And so Elijah was just, a good time to him, in the meantime until the right one comes along. But Elijah was never the one. And I predicted that he was going
You
to
did.
stomp all over his heart.
I was hopeful. I really wanted him. I wanted it to work out. Maybe I was hoping that Dill would motivate him to get a job. But it obviously became where he was going to, kind of ride the coattails, so to speak.
But I still think it was such a great experience for him and for that character. And I still don't think it was bad. And I don't necessarily think that he stomped on his heart in such a negative way. I think that he did it in such an eye-opening way. And I hope that Elijah can take that for what it is after the initial mourning period is done.
Well, we see that he's definitely in a big mourning period where he's knocking on Hannah's door. Now we're going, so you guys follow, we're going to go from one episode to the other by character. And so we fast forward a little in Elijah's character, and we see that, he comes knocking on the door. Hannah, open the door. I need to wash my genitals. And
No, but it was, oh, right.
I need to wash my genitals, and come to find that her dad, Tat, answers the phone, answers the door. And he looks at him. Tat's like, dude, have you slept in days? He's like, no, not in like 3, not since Wednesday. Well, it's Saturday. Come on. You know what I mean? So he's really going through this emotional thing. And he said to, as they're having this conversation, him and Tat, talking about how Tat is settling, and Elijah doesn't want to settle. And he goes, maybe your best just isn't good enough. And it's just him saying that is like he's reflecting off of Tat onto his own
He's talking
stuff.
to himself.
I love how he says to me, he's like, I need your bosom. Let me just snuggle with you.
Yeah.
He's such a little Meshuggah. I just want to hug him and hold him and let him cry, But, he goes and he says, I just want to be happy. And he feels like he wants to give up. And that's such a crappy place to be.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, but we have to remember too, the reason that it's cute, it's adorable. Elijah has fallen for this guy who's way out of his league, but it's also very immature of him, and he has delusions of grandeur to think that he would be an amazing partner for Dill. So if he's heartbroken, and this is me, just keeping it 100, if he is heartbroken, it is because he put himself in that situation where, he thought that this was magical and that he was the one or the exception to the rule. And
Because
once
when you're
again, that's not the
20-something,
case.
everyone thinks they're the exception to the rule. When you're in your early 20s and you think that,
Or
nothing can hurt you. It's I feel like when you're in that invincible stage, which, most of you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that, you are
Superman.
just like, exactly. And you can do no wrong, and you're just the smartest person in the room, and you know better than everyone, and you feel like you are at that level when you're not. I mean, think about it. What was Elijah really going to offer this guy?
Exactly.
What? He has nothing to bring to the table aside from sex.
Nothing.
I ordered takeout.
Like, what? I mean,
He probably couldn't even do that right, because
Well.
that would have meant he was somebody's assistant at one point.
Tell us what you guys think. Go on to iTunes, download us, rate us, comment. Also go onto the YouTube link, which you are watching live now here on AfterBuzz TV. tweet at us at AfterBuzz. You can also tweet at me, Miriam Gonzalez, Kellie079, and Spicy Mari.
Use our hashtag Girls AfterBuzz TV. Hashtag it.
Hashtag. So we have Shoshana and Ray and the coffee shop. Shoshana comes back from Japan. Now she's trying to reconnect with her friends. And she walks in, and of course, Ray is so elated to see her.
I love his excitement.
so
Were you guys
cute.
not like excited
Yes.
about Ray's excitement to see his ex-girlfriend?
He's like, you're so grown up. Well, because after they broke up and he was banging Marnie, they had that whole campaign thing going for the city where he's an elected official.
Yeah.
And she really helped, push him in that direction in such a positive way. So they left off on a positive note.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They weren't like, you're banging my friend. You know what I mean? So we have her walking into the coffee shop and she's like, dude, are you guys closed? And, he goes to explain to her that the what do they call it? A symbol across the street. The hipster place, the hipster coffee place,
Yeah.
Hectiva or whatever. No, it's a
Oh,
font.
Helvetica.
It's a font. The font is taking over.
That's funny.
I couldn't get it right. That's okay.
I think that's right.
No, that is right.
It is right. No,
that is right.
it is right. And so, he's like, we're being outpaced by the neo-hippie, gender-neutral monsters across the street. And, Shoshana's like, dude, this is wartime attitude. You need to
I love her confidence.
ask for help. You need to ask for help. She's like, I haven't been sitting in Japan, eating making
Candy
origami.
that tastes like candy. I have a degree in marketing, okay?
This is what I do. Let me help you.
Yeah, she's like, this is my area of expertise, and I went to mother effing college for it, okay?
Mother effing.
Can we talk about her Pink Panther outfit
Dude,
when she went to go scope out the competition?
Love that she went in character though. Like that's how you know this is like serious business.
Yes.
She's scoping the competition and people are looking at her like, what is she doing? Because clearly she doesn't belong there. But then I love how everyone behind or the manager, the owner,
owner,
like,
yeah.
the people who work there start chiming in like, oh, let me give you some words.
Well,
Yeah.
I love her reason for being there. I'm working on a poem of just found words.
Yeah. And
So I'm
they're like,
looking for words.
and they're like, greenery, silence,
And she's
champion.
like, there are no rules. And they're like,
He's like,
yes.
I can't top that.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I'm like, what are you writing? A haiku? I hate those. They make no sense.
There are rules, Miriam. There are rules to
They
the
fell
words.
right into Shosha's
Break
strap.
the rules. So, she goes back to the coffee shop and she says to Hermie and to Ray, like, look, this place across the street, I don't feel comfortable with it. It is like a Manson family in the making. She's so outrageous. I love her. Do you not love Shoshana? Like, she's grown so much, but she's hysterical. It's very Manson. She's like, we need to do the opposite of what they're doing. We need to get people who have jobs to
We
come
need to
in.
appeal
Yes.
to people with jobs.
I'm like, yes. What are they doing? Like free coffee across the way? No, you want people that are going to pay
But
for
it was
muffins,
like very
pay for that.
hipster,
Yeah.
like culty trend, like just
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I don't know how to describe it other than hipster. I mean, they're like part of the movements and
They're
free
very
spirited.
Emo. They're very emo and like I don't know.
Peace and love,
And
yeah.
I love how they go back. And they show Shoshana coming back to Hermie, and she's so excited. She's like, "Oh my God, I got the New York Times. They're gonna do an interview." And he's like, "Dude, you've got to dial it back."
She
You
is
gotta
intense.
chill
Shosh is
out.
intense.
and she is intense, but that's her excitement when she's putting all of her energy into something. She makes it work. And she's like, "Are you firing?" And he's like, "No, dude. We made in 1 week what we would make in 5 months." That just goes to show the clientele. And I love how the guy with the man bun, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, hot guys, regular guys, any guy, man bun. I don't look good with a fucking bun on my head. Pardon my language. But you know what I mean? Like, the messy.
Yeah. No, like I'm now, living that beach life and all I see are man buns everywhere. I can't get down
That's
with
hilarious.
No, I mean, mean, it's fine like when you're home, but I won't dare walk out in public like that. And I'm a lady
But I
with
like
boobs.
how they had
I think it's
signs.
cute.
I like how they had signs in the store
We
that
can
were
play
like
in each
no
other's
man
hair.
buns.
Well, no, if it's down, yes. But the man bun, he's got a scrunchie bigger than mine.
Well, Hermie felt your pain and was like, man bun, no, get out.
And I love her reaction. She's like, look, we can't turn people away. We just have to stare at them, make them uncomfortable, and bully them
so
out.
they leave.
You know, like her strategy is good. I mean, I would feel uncomfortable if I was wearing juicy across my ass and I'm sitting in a place where everyone's in a freaking suit.
Yeah. Did they have a sign that said like trust the government or something?
Yes.
I was like, it's complete opposite of the Helvetica across the street.
It was, yeah,
But
all
her
the signage and stuff was
Yeah,
hilarious.
but her marketing actually did work.
Yeah.
And you know, I love how he says, he goes, no people with tattoos unless they were in the war. You know what I mean? And he goes, my favorite line is, we're taking the night back. Are you with me?
For the regular people.
If you're not with me, you're against me. She's like, oh, let's save all those lines for the
Exactly.
interview.
For the interview.
You know, and I love that she's turning everything around for Ray and for Hermie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that Ray, first of all, Marnie in that sex dream. Hello.
How is she gonna have an erotic dream about brushing Ray's
It's
non-existent
a love
long hair?
dream. A love dream, okay?
That may be her child. I like how Elijah says to her, so you're
He's your daughter.
I'm getting him ready for school. And she's like, exactly that. You know, I mean, she's just so twisted. But a dream's a dream. They're always messy. I take melatonin. My dreams are vivid and wacky. And I love them.
You know, but dreams feel very real. When you wake up, it feels like, oh my God, did I
Yes.
just experience that? So I'm with Marnie on this like love wet dream because I feel like I have a lot of those. So no, like I will wake up like, did we do it? Because it really felt like we did it. And my boyfriend's like, no, but that means you owe me one now.
If anything, I'm glad it was about me.
But no, but that's what Marnie experienced though. Like it was that erotic for her, and I really I believe that it like set on her. Like, you know, like it was on her mind, you know, that entire time. And I think it was a manifestation of something in her subconscious that she really wants that she's been denying.
Yeah. And, you know, she goes and she shows up at Ray's door and, you know, she's like, I know I should be alone, you know, her online therapist and stuff. And she's like, I like how she just randomly says, I want to brush your hair. And then they start making out. And she's like, it can't be you. It can't be you. Yeah, it's him, honey.
Why couldn't it be him?
But why are we okay that it is him? Because of the whole best friend friends sleeping with friends, boyfriends, and all of that. I really want to know, and people, please help me understand why there is no outrage for this scenario, them being in love all of a sudden now, and the whole Jessa Adam thing is everybody's mad about it.
So so Marnie and Ray is still wrong on all accords. It's okay on this relationship and not on the Jessa and Hannah situation. Wrong is wrong. Don't fuck with your best friends, you know, ex-boyfriends or their current boyfriends. Just don't do it. But if you're going to do it, you need to be upfront and talk about it with your friend. And the reason why it's okay that we're seeing this go on now is because they've already had the discussion about it. So now we can begin to forgive because you've already addressed it. Like, Marnie and Shoshana have already discussed it. Ray and them have discussed it, so it's out there.
Yeah, but that
There's
again,
no
it was
hard-
after the fact in the same way that it's happening with Jessa.
No, it was wrong when it happened, and I was infuriated when it happened. But now I can move past it and forgive
Because
they're
they
not
have.
tiptoeing around it like Jessa and Adam acting awkward and
they're not
avoiding
anymore.
people.
It's out in the open.
No, they just unfriended Hannah. Where they were at least like, okay, we made a mistake, but it doesn't take away our love from you. They were like, oh, in addition, we don't like you anymore, Hannah. So, you know, it's completely different.
All right, ladies, let's not jump too far ahead because we will definitely get into Hannah and Adam and Justin.
Oh, yeah, we're not going there yet. We're just talking about
Let's go back to
So
Marnie
and
Ray.
Ray.
And you know what? You're right. Why is this acceptable? And you know what? It's not acceptable. And the reason why I say it's not acceptable is because we know that Marnie is going to have another come to Jesus moment and feel like she's way too good for him.
Marnie
And she
can't be
does.
alone.
She thinks that she's too good for Ray. And I think that's why
Yes.
she was like, it can't be you. Because
I mean,
what
she
she's really
asked
saying is,
him-
but you're not on my level.
Right, and she's asking him to be her assistant. I need somebody to make sure I have my coconut water and count my vitamins out.
But that's just not because
like-
it's Ray. She would do that to anybody that she was in a relationship with because she's very self-centered. think that she thinks everything revolves around her.
Yeah.
Even if it was her ex-boyfriend, and I mean, no matter who it is, she would do that.
Because I can't imagine Desi was doing that.
And well, I'll say this.
Desi would be asking for the tissue to cry on. Like Desi
But
was
that's what I'm saying. Like,
weak.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I believe that it would have been anyone.
Well,
I think that she thinks that she can kind of be the boss with her relationship with Ray.
and you know what? Because she, first of all, she's asking Ray to do this because, one, like you said, she doesn't want to be alone. Two, it's the fact that, here Desi is with Tandis.
Right, she has ulterior motives.
And,
Yeah.
it's like, I need someone in my corner, too, who's going to dote over me. And she knows that Ray will. And the minute she asks him to stop his life during pillow talk, first of all, she's like, did you come? No, I didn't come. I can't come unless I'm angry with someone. So she can come with freaking
She's
Desi.
working on that.
Yeah.
But
She's
she
working on that with her
won't do it
online
with somebody who
therapist.
truly loves her. And he's willing to stop his entire life to pretty much, like you said, bring her coconut water. I just want to smack those kids.
And regular water,
But Ray
too.
has been fantasizing about Marnie choosing him forever. So now his dreams are coming true. Yeah. So
and
he
he's
is
just going to be a sucker to do
well,
all
he
these
is
things
getting an
that she's-
opportunity though to finally be with this imaginary, person in his mind that he has created Marnie to be. Like he has seen himself in a relationship with her, and he's always hope that he would be chosen. So now he can bring that to fruition by going with her.
Yeah.
And then he can experience disappointment for himself. But you have to at
Absolutely.
least try. Just like we let Elijah get his speech out
course,
there. We gotta let
absolutely.
Ray learn from his mistakes as well.
Well, we see that prior to them, having their moment that, Marnie goes and meets up with Desi to let's just keep focused on our music. Can we not talk to each other when we're not singing? Like we have to travel. They're opening for the Lumineers, which I love how Ray's like, I thought that was just like a light bulb or something.
yeah, it was dental.
Oh, that's right.
Dental
dental stuff. I'm thinking I'm off. It's late. So anyhow, but we see that, that I think also was another reason why she went and approached Ray. So now we have her and Ray on the tour. Desi's got groupies with their, what was the name of the website? The Desi something. The pink-haired chick.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we'll follow up with that interview later, this, that.
Yeah, the quote-unquote interview.
Yeah, interview.
Right.
And so, exactly.
We're making very naughty gestures
We
over here
are
for those
so
of you
naughty.
listening on iTunes.
And you know what? It's girls. We've seen boobs, we've seen vag, and we saw vag tonight.
Oh, we
Shut
did
up.
see that.
And so anyhow, we have them about to go in, and Ray, of course, goes to extend the olive branch to Desi and like, hey, let's go out for a tea or a sparkling water. Oh, I don't drink that stuff. What does he think? Sparkling water is booze?
He's like, let's just try to be cordial. Let's figure this out.
And I like that he was the bigger man because he ultimately wasn't happy. And he was also Ray was the bigger man at the wedding when Desi was having his freak out.
And he usually is, because I feel like Ray is one of the most level-headed ones that we see. I mean, he definitely had a lot of issues like early on, and I think the interesting thing about his relationship with Shoshana was that it reminds me a little bit of the whole Dill and Elijah thing, but in reverse. Because even though Shoshana was younger, I feel like she did wonders for him.
Yeah.
Just kind of with her drive and her ambition and all of that, it kind of woke him up a little bit when that relationship ended. And I kind of want to see that for Elijah. But I love that he usually does. Ray is usually the one that has kind of that more, straightforward, open and honest, whether it's nice or not. He doesn't care. He just kind of says what he says.
Yeah.
And I've always liked that about him.
How about old girl not coming? What's the dreads? The beautiful dreads.
Oh, well, because
Cosby
Tandis.
Show.
Tandis. Well, Tandis
Yes.
didn't come because her dad
Cosby Show.
died.
Yes.
She had a death in the family, so that's why she wasn't there, which left Desi open to get head.
Apparently.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Desi is just awful, and
we knew that when we first met him.
And I think Marnie's now
he's like back to
seeing
his
that.
old ways,
Yeah.
though. At the moment he's divorced, he got another girl, and then she couldn't make it, so now he also cannot be alone.
Technically,
Right,
they're
no.
still not divorced.
Right. And then,
That's
where
true.
was Tandis hiding, while he was married? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what he was doing before, when he wasn't having his temper tantrums at home.
I do like that she came and interrupted his and Marnie's moment.
The 8 minutes. The 8
I
minutes.
actually like that she did that. She kind of laid the smack down, and kind of showing Marnie look, I have him. I'm in control of this situation. And so
I said it once, I said it twice, and I will say it again. The man is a poon.
He
But
is
also,
a poon.
I don't feel like I personally didn't like that, only because I
did.
feel like when you
I want a man who's a man.
right, but also when you're
From
a
woman
woman,
to woman.
but her being a woman versus Marnie still being kind of a girl, I feel like that was way unnecessary. She was trying a little bit too hard to kind of lay claim when it's not necessary.
Well,
and I felt like it
I
was a
think
little
sometimes
bit
you have
desperate.
to, just like men pump their chests, I think every now and then women have to also to
Right,
kind of
but
let them
Marnie's
know,
the one
like,
divorcing him. There is nothing to pump your chest about.
She
Like
put up
she's
her
not.
peacock
but she
feathers.
knows that clearly Marnie feels a certain type of way about her being in the picture. And so I think part of her role was to get Marnie jealous, not so much. I don't think that she's in love with Desi or anything like that.
No, but that's that whole woman you know what
But
I mean?
I
And
appreciate that Marnie didn't argue with her.
No,
When she was like,
absolutely.
8 minutes is up. Marnie was like, okay.
See you later.
And that was very mature on Marnie's part. Because if that would have been me,
Well,
let
Marnie
me
said,
tell you something. Now.
Yeah.
well, Marnie said everything she had to say. It was like, look, let's be professional. This is our music career. Stop being a poon. And just like, let's get with the program.
I need to use that word later on tonight. Poon.
Love it. It's fantastic.
How do you spell poon? Is that Poon? Poon?
I think with an E maybe at the end. I don't even know.
Poon.
I just say it. Anyhow, tell us what you guys think. I know I'm just out of control sometimes. I love that
Poon
word.
have an E at the end. Let us know.
Go to iTunes, download us, rate us, go to this YouTube, comment, tell us what you think, tweet at us. So, speaking of not so level-headed people, and first of all, I did not expect what happened to happen between Jess and Adam, but we see that in the first of all, Hannah's hanging out with Tally, and they walk in, and I like how she calls her sir and madam, and then they just start laughing at her. But we fast forward a pinch to seeing Jessa feeding the baby, and yeah, she's putting a little too much on the spoon, but Adam just has this whole micromanaging kind of moment.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
Well, think about it. I mean, I think he's frustrated at the fact that Jessa can't be a grown up or can't do, in his mind, do anything right.
Well,
she's not taking into consideration the other side of that spoon.
Well, the funny thing is this. So, of course, she says to him, I YouTube videos about babies, but someone brought up a very interesting fact. In previous seasons, she was a freaking nanny.
To older kids.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't know that it was always to older children.
Well, no.
Yeah, well, I mean, she had
Didn't
only
she drug the old lady that she was taking care of?
No. She was a nanny.
No, she was a nanny with the
No, but
kids.
I'm just
Remember when
saying,
she almost had the affair with the
Anybody
father?
she's ever had to take care of has died. So,
Except for the two
Almost.
kids.
Almost died.
okay, almost died. But I'm
Almost
just saying,
died.
she doesn't have a good track record.
No, the girl
No,
can't keep
I
a
did
plan.
see that comment too, but I don't think it was ever with small children. I think it was it was kids, but not
They weren't
babies.
babies.
They weren't babies.
But and did
I
she
mean-
sleep with the husband of who she was?
I think she was going to.
She was going
Yeah,
to.
okay.
Yeah,
It got
it
sticky.
was weird. It got weird.
But
for
in
me.
the process of that, of course, he takes away the spoon and starts feeding the baby, the proper amount. And she's like, you know what? She brings up Hannah. Why don't you call Hannah? Hannah loves babies. And of course, he flips his lid. He's like, why do you have to bring her up? This, that, and whatever. And then, to break up that moment, Laird comes and
Laird comes to pick up sample.
And I love how Adam, he's like having this very dad moment. He's like, look at me. Are you
He wants to make sure he's not on drugs.
yeah, because him and Caroline's track record with drugs and cuckoo-ness is on the table.
Well, and that's his family. He cares about that baby, and he wants to make sure that the baby's okay.
Of course.
And that's why he's overprotective too with Jessa and all of that, because he has more investment in it than she does. And I mean, to her, it's just this kid that she's having to take care of because her boyfriend's asking her to. She doesn't really care.
No, and it's so funny. After, of course, Laird picks up the baby, she's like, now let's do something fun finally.
And that let you know
Yeah.
her true spirit.
Yeah.
Because seriously, when you're in a relationship, had that been Elijah and Dill, Elijah would have been pretending like, oh, this is my child. Elijah would have been all, and I'm just saying, when you really like someone, like when you're really
Yes.
invested in them, you start foreseeing a future with them and how it would be having kids with them. And you start taking their relatives as your own. And she was not doing that at all.
Well, because she can't imagine anyone being more important than herself.
And I think that's what Adam was realizing. And then that's when we start to see them both just releasing and unloading, you know, all these things that they've been feeling. I mean, they went nuts.
First of all, we will start from the beginning of that fight because it starts with Hannah. And the fact is that, you know, there's a resentment now between Jessa against Adam. And I mean, there's a resentment with both of them.
Why you can't sleep with your best friend's man.
No, it's like, and
But it's all in her own head, though. It's not Adam's fault, and I hate that she said that. She starts out screaming, "I will never forgive you. You don't understand. This is my dearest friend." Well, if it's your dearest friend, why are you in the situation?
Well, Adam is a reflection of her, though.
Right,
Adam
but
is a reflection of
it was such a cowardly conversation, I
evil.
feel, from her
well,
end.
the
Always somebody else's fault.
The truth of the matter is that we all have choices. And that was her choice to go in that direction. We saw that there were many opportunities where she could resist it, but she let her pants dictate her, and so did he. And so now they have this, and it's funny because, like, I was not funny, but, you know, I was watching Lena Dunham doing commentary on these specific relationships and how they've grown, and she said it's not that this is an end for them. This is just their relationship coming to another level.
Right.
And we, of course, we have season 6 coming up. And we will see how these characters evolve and if they can actually truly make it. Because it's like, you know, she says to him, Hannah is my dearest friend. And even though we're not talking right now, she will always come first. And even Hannah said, she says, you know, I love them both, but I don't, and they're both the same. I don't know which one to warn about the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point. And you said that you were watching the, you know, after takeouts or whatever with Lena. She also brought up the point that, you know, Adam and Jess are very similar. Like they're this, you know, neurotic, crazy people, but who they are in their normal, everyday, lovey-dovey life is exactly who they are when they're upset or angry as well. And that came to light as well. We got to see, like, gosh, you both are really, really crazy.
Oh, they're
when their
batshit.
fight escalated and stuff started getting thrown and they started getting physical with each other, I mean, that's when you know it's over the top.
He was going to throw a bike at her.
Forget the bike, he punched the door. I mean,
Well, and I love that he says, you know, I'm sorry if I scared you. She's like, you didn't scare me. That was just an unnecessary thing to do. That was
you
over
should
the
have just
top
been
and
like,
an unnecessary
"Where's
thing to
Johnny?"
do.
Like, I thought it was gonna be like that's what I thought was coming next. Like he showed us his crazy side. I mean, I was waiting for the baby to say red rum. Like it was that bad. Like I'm surprised Jessa didn't call the cops.
But her argument too, like I said, it just really irks me because Hannah does not come first, and that's such a stupid thing to say. Even have that come out of your mouth.
Well-
because if your friend really came first, you wouldn't be in that relationship in the first place. So that's utter BS. Like,
But
I can't.
Neither of them know how to hold down healthy relationships. Adam
but that
doesn't,
doesn't have
and
anything to
Jessa
do
doesn't.
with it.
No,
It's
but if you're
literal.
a dysfunctional person, if all you've seen in your life is dysfunctional relationships, guess what you're gonna have with your lover, with your friends? That's all Jessa knows how to do.
Well,
she has never had a healthy relationship.
It's funny when you say dysfunctional because we have Fran and Hannah breaking up and her pushing him to move out or
I
to
will
get
pay
out of
for
her
an
place.
Uber for you to get your shit out
Oh
of
my!
here.
Hannah is hardcore. I was like, damn.
But he says to her, he goes, "You don't even know what a healthy relationship is." She goes, "You know what? You're right." First of all, that was the most
She doesn't.
adult I have seen her in a breakup without losing her shit.
Because he was losing his, and she was just like, I don't understand why you can't
She's
just
like, you
let
don't
this
even
go.
like me. And that's the truth. He doesn't like
No,
her.
he
And I don't
doesn't.
even think he loves her. I just don't think that he likes to be rejected. It's more about his ego than it is
Right.
actually wanting to be with this person and serve and love her.
Yeah. And you know, with them breaking up, you know, and I love how he says, "You're going to regret this so hard."
She's like, I probably will.
I mean,
Because it's like when you shut somebody down and you agree with them, what do they have to say after that?
All they do is like fume
You're like,
inside.
well.
And I love, she's like, I will happily pay for an Uber for you to come and get to take you and your things back to your home.
you need to go.
Get out of my apartment.
Yeah, and it's at this point that she realizes, of course, she can't face him again, and she realizes she doesn't love her job. She goes and she quits her job, and I love her interaction with Principal Toby, and you know, she's like, you know, right now I'm like channeling the signals, and I'm open to those signals. If I can't be open to those signals if I am tuned into another song, and I think because when she spent time with Tally, which, you know, this is before she even runs into Tally, that she realizes that this isn't the path that she wants to take. She's not a square. She's a creative. She's lost herself in the this is what I should be doing phase of her life, and it's time to move on. And I love how Principal Toby's like, you know, we're really gonna we're gonna miss you, kind of thing. You've been really an eye-opening experience. And as she's leaving her job finally, which, you know, her attire, we always love your outfits.
Oh my God, what was she wearing? Oh my God.
What is she ever wearing?
No, but that has to be like just one of the worst outfits that she has worn.
That and the
really
fishnet
shocked.
shirt. I think it's up there with that
Give
one.
a shit.
But no, and I love that her character is fully committed. Like Lena Dunham, like you can't. I don't know how she created Hannah, but Hannah is a just full out weirdo. And so, you know, and she sticks to that character no matter what she does. If it's eating, if it's her hair, if it's her wardrobe, if it's her relationships. I mean, she's fully committed to that. And that outfit definitely proved that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as she's leaving, she runs into Tally, which Tally was like her arch nemesis when Tally had her book signing, and I mean, she hated her. And, you know, Tally's like, hey, you know, they're like doing this mild catch up and how she left her cabin and like she just wants to murder people. And she's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And Hannah's like, sure, you know, I don't have to do anything till Thanksgiving. She's like, well, I'm good till 3 a.m. You know?
And I think that was probably one of the best choices she's made, to be able to do that and just kind of spend time with someone outside of that crazy circle that she was in, because I just feel like it did so much for her. And we also saw it during their whole time together, how much she opened up about real things and had real stuff to say. And
she admitted to jealousy.
Yeah.
That's a very big step for Hannah.
When they're having lunch, you know, she goes on to saying, she tells Tally, she's like, look, you know, I haven't been writing like at all.
Not even to-do list.
And she's like, what did Tally say? She goes, you did an identity switcheroo.
That's so brave.
I love how comforting she was to her, though.
Yeah,
it was almost like she was instantly turned into a real friend, something I don't think that Hannah has been used to.
No.
She didn't criticize her. She honestly was like, that's very brave of you. And I salute you for that choice that you made and sticking to it. And I loved every reaction she had.
She was almost accepting of everything. That's
she was
a good point.
Supportive of everything, which I think kind of threw Hannah for a loop a little bit. And that's why I think she was able to just kind of be so honest.
Because if that was show, she would have been like, Hannah, you can't do that. Like,
no, of course. There's always judgmental crap going on.
And Marnie would have been super critical.
Yeah.
Jessa would have been tuning out. And she had somebody that was attentive and supportive and on her side.
Yeah.
I mean, down to the, Mimi Rose kind of
Yes.
big stuff. I mean, just on her side all the way through. And I feel that like she let her guard down. She didn't feel self-conscious about hearing anybody else's shit, and she just kind of was open and like, this is how I feel about life right now.
It was refreshing. And they wind up leaving lunch and walking, and of course they have like the bike that's outside the hot dog
oh my
place.
gosh.
And I love how Tally's like, this is a sign.
I'm so not somebody supposed to say that, but this is totally a sign.
Like a sign that I steal the bike. Yes, steal the bike.
If you know what I'm thinking, it's real.
And I like how Hannah decides to steal the bike, and of course that guy coming out, she's like, I'm gonna ride into the future.
Oh God, I
Keep
felt bad for the biker. I'm like, dang.
That's what happens when you don't lock your stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
but that
you.
was bad
Step
karma.
away.
She's gonna get something stolen from her.
She did get something stolen from her.
Her boyfriend.
Oh yeah, well, she's gonna get something stolen again for stealing that bike.
Karma's a bitch. But they wind up in front of Hannah's place, and Hannah's like, all right, this is me. Like, she's ready to be done with the day. And Tally's like, dude, you want to smoke a Fatty J? By the way, happy 420, everyone.
Yeah, 420.
Happy 420, everyone. I don't smoke, but you know what? For y'all that do. And they wind up smoking this fatty, and they start reflecting on life. And we see that Tally is not the person that she created herself to be for people to see.
Yes.
She's like, she goes, I wake up every day and I Google myself.
It's so gross.
That's all I have, and it's like, as a first of all, Hannah and her start talking about all of her accomplishments, the books that she's written, the poetry, the fact that she's got this book of essays coming out, which is stressing the crap out of Tally, because all she does is Google herself. She's not doing anything. She hasn't had any social interaction in 17 months. And, you know, now she's realized that she's created this monster that she just can't keep up with.
Right.
In the public eye. I mean, she's got to Google herself to see if Radar or the Financial Times or, you know, the New York Book Review has even said anything about her. And that's just a sad place to be. And I think
it speaks to this generation, though.
It does. It does.
Just the image creation from social media and everything, just how, you know, we're putting all these images out there. We're really a generation that is obsessed with seeing ourselves or, you know, having the world see us.
Oh, no. First of all, to all y'all that do this on Facebook and on social media, to each his own. But your life is not that fabulous. You know you got a parking ticket.
Generation. It's the selfie generation. So where everything's, you know, everything is set to, you know, it's filters. It's all these illusions to make your life seem to look
more
so
amazing.
Yeah. And working
you know.
out. Okay, so you did today, but what'd you do the last 3 weeks?
But nobody posts their hardships.
No.
And I think that's
and the
where...
ones that do, I'm like, oh, honey, don't go there.
I don't want to read those. So your dog died on Facebook. But for her to admit that she checks these things in order to, you know, be reminded of, you know, who she is because she doesn't know who she is. It's just something that she created, this character. I thought that was very real because we see that all the time.
Yeah. No, and then she goes to say to Hannah, because Hannah's, you know, she's like, I haven't written all this kind of stuff. And she says to Hannah, she's like, but you're living your truth. Which is like a light bulb for Hannah, like, oh, wait a second, I've had all these interesting things happen in my life, and now I can write about it. It's the one thing that we hoped from season one that she would start doing. Girl, you're living your life.
And I remember having this actual debate about it in the very beginning when she was at, you know, working for the magazine and she was doing the advertorials and she was trying to come up with these ideas and I have nothing to say, and I, you know, trying to make stuff up, and we were always saying, but so much has happened.
Yeah.
Just
and now she finally sees that she actually does have something to say. And I like how she said there's all these little moments that didn't seem like big ones as they were happening, but they really are big moments.
Pay attention. Life's short, people.
Life is short.
And
everything
so,
that happens.
Yeah, and I love how in that moment, you know, she's like, I love your teeth and your freckles.
Your little teeth.
all
your
you
little
know,
side
all
teeth.
this stuff. And then they have like that moment. She's like, should we have sex?
sex?
And I love how they're like, no. And then Beyonce, I'm feeling myself.
If they would have had sex, I'm happy that they didn't do that because I was like, oh gosh, you know, another fake lesbian moment where she's gonna like punk out right before she starts to go down
I feel
on
like
her.
that was such a big scene because I think that a lot of, especially with how open everyone is about sex now on TV and the, you know, everywhere all you see is sex. I think that is kind of the thing that people go to. It's like if you're having a great time with somebody, you automatically think, oh well, that's the logical next thing. Now I'm attracted to you.
That is a great point.
So I love that they didn't.
Fun fact. Lena Dunham describes on when she was suckling Ray's penis.
Yeah.
That the way she did it for the scene is she had to do it with her two thumbs.
Oh, like sucking on.
She sucked on her thumbs to get that whole like
to make it
to make the sounds or whatever. But she did not truly give him head. It was her thumbs. She's like, it was the weirdest thing on earth.
I didn't think that she really gave him
course
head.
not.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying like the secret of the secrets of the trade, like wearing a sock on their
That's
on their
hilarious.
junk. But, you know, so anyhow, we just see that Tally is opening up her eyes to the life that she truly is living. And even though there are some shitty moments and shitty friends, it's okay because, like, now she has something to write about. And that's when we see them walking down the stairs and they run into Jessa and Adam.
It was like that awkward moment. Like, we were just talking about you guys. Like,
And
that's what they were thinking in their head.
And
they were completely high off their
yeah.
And the fact that she was able to laugh it off. And it
That was a healthy
motivated
laugh.
her. It inspired her. And so we see her coming into the second episode, I Love You, Baby, where, you know, she's running. And, you know, she's just really motivated. Like, she's got, first of all, exercise just really, you know, it builds
Have you heard of endorphins?
You stole the word right out of my mouth.
I love that she was working out. Oh, my God. I'm so proud of her.
And the endorphins open your creativity. I mean, if you get on a treadmill, if you're just walking in nature, going for a hike, all of a sudden you're seeing things differently. And now she's inspired. And of course, she comes to see that her parents are at the door, and of course she was going home, but she was like, oh hell no, I'm not
Wait, but
dealing
can we
with this
stop
too.
and talk about how she ran, stretched, like ran, stretched.
Hey, however
posed,
you can get it
stretched
done.
again. I'm
Every
just happy
little
that
bit is
she
good.
is burning some calories. I was like, but that's another growth moment too, because we see how unhealthy she is.
Yeah.
She eats poorly. I mean, she doesn't work out. She's very proud of her belly. And so for her to actually just be taking some type of initiative towards her health, I'm like, okay, this is another growth moment for her.
Absolutely. And, her parents show up, of course, and they're like calling her out. And she's like, look, I'm doing this because of you guys. Like, I need to clear my head. You guys are driving me nuts. And so we find them in her apartment, and she's writing for The Moth, which is really exciting. And she says to her parents, she's like, you guys are depressing. They're like, what's wrong with you? Like, because she's in the zone. And
Well, not only that, it's depressing to watch them settle for lives that they don't want.
Right. Because they're
I feel
scared.
I feel like it was so much deeper than that, and that's because she's going through this kind of that I don't want my life to be this way. People see me in this certain way that I just know that I'm not, and I need to make a change. And it sucks to watch you guys settle into these people that you don't even want to be.
Of course. And of course, Tad says to her Tad says to her, you know what, don't judge us. And she's like, you know what, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you because that's why I broke up with Fran, because I was tired of being judged. She goes, all I ask is that you guys get better haircuts. Like, she's so random.
Well, her haircut was not all that in bag of chips either. I'm like, what?
Her dad is gay and her mom's dressing like Pat Benatar. Like,
I loved that
come
comment,
on.
actually.
And so, she continues writing for her the Moth thing, and then her parents are like, well, what is that? And she starts explaining that she's going to wear like a blazer with a belt with trinkets. Oh, Hannah.
I love that her mom took her shopping because when she went, she looked really cute.
Yeah, she did.
And the story that she tells and the way that she told it, I thought was just so fantastic.
Before we get into the
Amazing.
story,
Great.
I love the interaction at the store where her mom is talking about like, oh, are your friends going to be there? And she's like, I don't know if my friends are going to be there. And she's like, they bring up the
she
whole
says
thing
not
with Jessa.
Jessa.
She goes,
Yeah.
not Jessa for sure, whatever. And she goes, yeah, I had this friend, Cadence. I had this friend, Cadence, who, stole my boyfriend from the debate team, this, that, whatever. Well, anyway, she came to get hit by a car. She's like, I was so happy she was dead. She goes, she was like, I wish that this happens for you too.
Not that I wish Jessa dead, but at the same time.
I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be sad.
It's like a release. Like,
Because then it's just like you went. And the funniest part about the whole story is that she didn't even care about the guy. Like she didn't even think about
it was
him
because
coming
her
back to like
friend
her.
hurt her.
And she just wanted her friend to pay.
Well, fast forward to the Moth. They're standing in this gigantic line. She finally makes it into the building, and she has to put her name in a hat. Her mom's like, how does this work? So of course Elijah, I love how he like just totally
cut. I totally would have
Yeah.
cut too. I'm like, I'm not waiting this
and
line.
then he
I
goes
was
like,
with Elijah.
I put your name in the hat twice. And the people that are regulars at the Moth are pissed. Like the one guy's like, seriously, should I be like you and put my name in there
Yeah.
twice?
I have a podcast.
I care.
We have a podcast too.
Download us, rate us, tell us what you think. So, it finally comes to her turn after several people going up, and she's about to go up with notes. And this guy's like, dude, you can't go up with notes. You're going to be disqualified. And she goes up, and she has this beautiful story of jealousy. And it all comes down to, and I like how she
Which
says,
was the theme of the
I
night.
thought she was gonna lose
Yeah.
it when she couldn't use her cards. I was gonna be like, oh,
oh,
Hannah.
no, because you know
But
what?
I'm so proud of her.
First of all, what you write is one thing, what you're feeling, especially like this is so dear to her. Like she said, this is the classic tale. What did she say? It's like Lord of the Rings.
But she finally tells something that's true and not
yes.
something that she made up.
Yes,
and that's why she didn't
the
need
difference.
the
If we
card.
look at how she used to story tell previously when she was in school versus now, it's a huge difference because before her audience, her classmates, they didn't believe it. They had so much doubt. Her presentation was not compelling, and this time because of what exactly what you said, Kelly, it's her truth, so it's able to come from the heart and it's more compassionate, there's feeling behind it, so because she believes it, therefore we believe it. It was so good.
Well, fast forward, she talks about her jealousy with Adam, and you know, how she's a mermaid and all this kind of stuff, and how like, you know, she imagines him licking her elephant tramp stamp and her rosebud lips, and then
she tried to make herself mad about it, and she couldn't.
well, she goes, you know what? She goes, I'm not sad. I'm sad. I'm not angry. Where it's the opposite for Adam and Jessa. They're angry. You know, they're angry over her, and she's not. She's like, I'm sad. She's like, so I left them a gift basket with this note, and like, to me, I was like, she's being the bigger person once again, and she heard them fighting over her. And I think that was a little bit of gratification
For
in her
sure.
mind. Like,
Yeah.
Like, they didn't just ride off into the sunset. Like, they're jacked up over it.
And that's
Yeah.
why she said, I'm finally free. And I think she also realized that her initial anger over that was more of a competitive wanting to be the winner, not that she necessarily was in love with Adam or wants him back. And so I think that's too why she kind of like stepped away and actually didn't freak out and didn't turn into that basket case that everyone expects
no,
her to be.
because she knows that it's up to her to create the person she wants to be, and she can either be pissed off and let the world know it and hammer a dead cat to the door,
Throw
Yeah.
a bite through his window.
or she can be the bigger person, and she knows that her and Jess are going to come back together. They both know that. We'll get into prediction in just a moment, but I love how the season finale ended with all the montage of the different characters. We have Shoshana dancing with Hermie. And it was just like, it was like a growth there. Like, she made something happen, and she made this guy happy and turned his shop around. And then we had Desi getting head by the groupie.
Well, everyone kind of like showing just where they're at.
Yeah.
Desi obviously didn't grow. He is where he is.
I love how Elijah and Mom are like sitting drinking a 40 in the middle of the street, and he's like, I'm gonna die having nothing, and she says I'm gonna die having done nothing. Goes, so am I.
And I have so many more years. I've got like 80 years left.
My favorite line is, he goes, I'm three beers away from trying to bang you. I'll say the proper thing instead of cursing at the store. And she goes, apparently you're my type.
It's like the best.
You know, and then of course Adam and Jessa, we see them in the end with, you know,
And just their mess.
her landing strip.
And them in this like wreck of an apartment just shows like their mental state. They're both just a wreck.
Yeah.
I think the apartment was also a like reflection or metaphor of the relationship. The apartment was destroyed, and the relationship is as well.
It's doomed.
Well, we don't know that yet. And
We'll
then
see.
I love, you know, how Hannah in the end just runs off. Like, it's that sense of freedom, and you see it on her face. Like, these characters have all grown in such a way that it is refreshing.
Even her father got a little bit of liberation.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Dad
yeah.
went to Booty Call's house.
Yeah, he did. So we'll see kind of like where that goes. But I'm excited for the next season. I was so happy that they finally showed some growth and it was really good.
This was a good season. I mean, they've done a great job of keeping up the momentum of Girls. Like, there hasn't been a disappointing season yet. And that's really hard to do, but HBO has mastered that.
Shall we do some brief predictions for
Let's
season
do it.
6?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions, ladies. What do you think?
Okay, so I am with you. I think that Jessa and Hannah will make up. I think that I don't think that her and Adam are gonna last. I think that there's too much to forgive. They're too angry, and I think the ending left us with knowing that Hannah is at the center of it, and so they have to come back to her. They openly admitted that there's like this love-hate, but that's what friendship is. So they're gonna make up. I think that all the girls are still gonna be dependent on each other. I think Marnie is going to continue to not respect her relationship with Ray.
Or with anyone.
Right. But I also think that she does have a real love for him. I think it's going to grow. I think the relationship is going to blossom. And I just think that that's who Marnie is. I don't think that she is a considerate or thoughtful person. But I think that Ray is going to constantly have to check her. He's just happy to have her back right now.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
For sure.
All right, Kelly, what do you think?
No, I mean I agree with a lot of that. I'm more excited just to kind of see where it goes, and I feel like the way that they handled all the situations was fun, and it was not what I expected, which was great.
Well, my hope is that Hannah continues to grow as an individual. I think that Adam and Jessa may actually work out if they work on it, because like attracts like, and they're both batshit. Marnie, yes, will take advantage of Ray and leave him in the dust. And Shoshana is just going to continue to grow as a human being, and we'll see what happens with Elijah. Will he or will he not grow? Go on to our iTunes, rate us, download us. Tweet at us at AfterBuzz TV. You can tweet at me, Miriam L. Gonzalez. Find me on Instagram at MiriamG1. Ladies.
You can find me at Kellie with an IE 079.
And you can play with my Twitter or stroke my Instagram at Spicy Mari.
We will see you
Next
during
season.
season 6. We look forward to it next time with girls. Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.